hand. You have some money you can get, or your credit cards aren't maxed out. But people are really in a tough place right now. And some people are able to kind of grab these hardships by the horns and move forward with them. But for those who are really feeling maybe traumatized by fear, that kind of quiet hysteria where you aren't standing and screaming, but in your head there are screams all the time. How can you tell someone who's in a place of leadership, who not only has to keep herself straight, but has to constantly help those people who work for her or around her? How can they help move forward and continue in a leadership role when they're feeling like, hey, I need somebody to hold my hand?
It's so true. I think admitting that they need someone to hold their hand. I mean, I know I do. I mean, I always say some days we're the person saying to our friend or our employees, everything's going to be all right. And then other days we're the ones going, is everything going to be all right? I mean, tell me everything's going to be all right. We kind of rock back and forth between those two places. I think, and what I've experienced is, and Rochelle and I have done work on the body-mind connection. We actually co-presented in the past, and I know you know this, Rochelle. This will be a reminder of things we've talked about, which is one little action as opposed to, oh my God, I've got to do 5 different things to turn everything around all at once. Start with one simple action. Maybe you're not going to be able to, address your credit card debt because you're trying to keep your business afloat. But maybe what you could do is make one call to one creditor and find out what room you have with that credit card. Or maybe the one small action is, and I've been trying to do this with some success, though, we're human and it's hard to do all the time. I reach for my phone first thing in the morning. I just do. I think I'm looking for connection more than anything. But I try to look at a spiritual or a inspirational saying first before I jump to whatever emails or the New York Times or whatever I'm reading that starts to make my heart pound. I try to feed my brain from the first thing in the morning with something that grounds me. So I think doing any sort of grounding exercise, and a grounding exercise is something that makes you go, oh, I just caught my breath. Okay. Because if you're stressed and, feeling uptight, you can't think straight. So start to feed your brain and your body with simple things to help you throughout the day. Again, you don't have to start a 20-minute meditation practice. You could just sit down during the day and read something or watch something or play, spider solitaire on the computer, anything to just calm you down, because then you can think of the steps forward.
Yeah, Karol, I just when I hear your voice, my whole central nervous system calms down. So I just want to think that. I just wanted to shed a little bit of light for our listeners. We call this segment, the psychology of women in leadership, the hang-ups and hardships. It's the putting the light on the fact that there are hang-ups and there will be hardships. What would you say to women listening around that topic, around that idea, putting the light on it?
Well, I think that's a really great point, because often we are told or shown that just do it or lean into it or keep going, this relentless drive to keep going and show everyone that everything's fine. And that has become this image for women to try to emulate. And it's so untrue and it's exhausting. It's not the real picture. And I'm a coach. I know that the two of you coach and speak. You see people in front of you, and they may be prominent leaders or they might be very successful, but they still have stresses in their lives. And I think to make women who are leaders, that there's a humanity to it, that the more human we are, the more vulnerable we are with appropriate people. Not everyone gets to see our vulnerability. It wouldn't be a great thing all the time, but with people that we know and trust, we share our vulnerability. we get a little boost from them, we go on. So to let go of the perfectionism, that the only way to succeed is to be relentless about it. Other ways to succeed are to be quietly, methodically mindful of the next steps you're taking in your business. And that can create as much success as someone who is going full out every day.
Wow. I never would have thought about being relentless about basically letting go for a bit, right? Just say, this I have to do, but I don't always have to lean in or step up or shout from the heavens. I can be quiet for a moment, and that's my recovery.
Yes, I think that's a great word. I've worked with women who are so exhausted running their businesses, and I say to them, whatever your next decision is, you want to ask yourself a version of this. Is this helping me recover from whatever it is, exhaustion, being burnout? Because burnout is something that takes down women business leaders. It just drops us. I can speak to that personally. It just brings you down if you're overdoing and trying to overachieve. So to keep saying, is this in alignment with my self-care and my business? Is this in alignment with my recovery of my sense of physical health and mental health? To just keep checking in. And you can make up your own phrase, but it's a great thing to ask before you make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fantastic. So Karol, I know, like I said, just hearing your voice calms me, and I really appreciate all that you've shared with us here today. Listen, I know people are going to want to reach out to you and get a hold of you. What's the best contact for you for them to reach you?
If you go to my website, www.Karol with a K, that's the unique part, KarolWard.com, Karol with a K, Ward.com. You can contact me on my website. I also have a wonderful visualization and meditation download or CD that if people are looking to calm down, very short visualizations that can help people connect to who they are and what they want. And I think that's really important for people to tap into. And if you join my mailing list, you get one of those visualizations for free. And it's a stress reduction visualization set to original music. So it's something I want to offer people.
Well, I can personally attest to that. Karol, last thoughts or comments to our listeners about hang-ups and hardships when it comes to leadership?
I think it just goes back to the idea of you are a human, you're doing the best that you can, and to really understand what that statement means. Doing the best that you can doesn't mean that you're not good enough or smart enough. You are doing the best that you can under these circumstances. And each time you have to reevaluate those circumstances, reach out to someone you trust and get some good support so that you can take the next step forward.
That's beautiful.
Well, that's amazing. And I tell you, this has been fabulous. And this is just part one. So those of you who are listening, we're going to come back and talk to Karol some more. We're going to talk about what it takes to succeed. But I am so happy to have been here today with Karol Ward. And if you want to reach me, you can get me at valdaford.com and
Rochelle at rochellerice.com.
And we have been inspired so far with Karol Ward. I hope to have all of you come back for part 2, where you learn more about our commitment to elevating the next generation of women in leadership. Bye-bye for now.